some time back that they have elected Yumnam Khemchand as the new leader of their legislative party. So at least one stage they have resolved. They have been squabbling among themselves at the expense of the people of the state, who are going through a terrible and unprecedented tragedy in the history of Manipur. Despite that, I think at least finally, I hope that this drama of running to Delhi and going back to Imphal in the name of forming a government comes to an end. That's my first hope, that with this election of Mr. Khemchand, at least that should signal an end to that absurd, behavior of running to Delhi while people are suffering. That must come to an end. That's the first. That's a positive thing in one sense. Second, I hope that if and when the union government decides to install the government, it is, that this has never been the will of these MLAs to form the government. It is the Delhi's decisions. So to that extent, I am a little skeptical about how far they will be able to represent the will of the people of the state as a popular government would demand. They have never been able to do it, and that's why the crisis has been the way it has been. So my expectation is now that if and when they install the government, they should be able to represent the will of the people of the state and do not become a scapegoat, a willing partner to the kind of game that the government of India has played with the lives of the people of the state for the last 2.5 years or more. They should be able to represent the will of the people, and that's one hope. Against all odds, that's my hope, that they should be able to represent the people of the state. And hopefully they should also be able to keep their house in order. I have insisted since the beginning of the crisis that their own MLAs from the Cookies or the Maitais or the, all of them are able to sit down together and is contesting demands. This Cookie MLAs of BJP demanding the destruction of the state by splitting the state, that should be able to be resolved among themselves. And finally, I hope that they should also be able to do the concrete steps to fix accountability for this tragedy, the administrative failure, the political failure, the role of the police, role of the armed forces, the magistrates, the SPs and police officers, the central security officers, despite their presence, the fact that we have lost so much precious lives, and people have been rendered homeless, and so they should start with honesty and with transparent steps to fix accountability for the violence, and also take concrete steps to ensure that these internally displaced persons who have been thrown out of their homes are able to return to their home with dignity and able to settle back in their original homes. They should take concrete steps now. I think that much is what we can expect, and I'm just hoping, and I'm being honest with you when I say against all odds, given their character. I still have doubts and skepticism whether they would be able to represent the will of the people, truly represent the will of the people of the state, or whether they would be able to stand up for the people of the state against the diktats from Delhi, and whether they would be able to fix accountability for the violence and take steps to ensure that the IDPs are able to return to their homes. Despite my doubts and skepticism, I still desperately hope that if and when this new government comes, they are able to do it. And I'm sure that our oppositions, we will be able to cooperate with them if and when they want. They have never asked for cooperation. It's time for us to work together, whether it is BJP, Congress, or opposition or treasury bench. we should be able to work together to ensure that Manipur regained its dignity, its well-being, and we have a normal life as soon as possible. That's my hope and expectations from this news that you have told me.
What about the previous statement he opposed on the opposition leader Rahul Gandhi that he misbehaved?
It is like the thief scolding the kotwal, that old saying, right? The crime is committed by the treasury bench. You should remember that, even though our honorable speaker has ruled in a particular manner by interpreting this 349, but you should know that the rule says that you can quote from books or articles insofar as it is related to the business of the House. And the business of the House is the presidential address. And our LOP is doing exactly that. He's quoting from an article, which is a published work, and trying to raise a pertinent issue concerning national security. And also in the presidential speech, they talk about the government being able to take firm and decisive actions as far as national security is concerned, vis-a-vis with the Pahalgam incident, Operation Sindhu. In their speech, they said the government is able to take a firm and decisive actions. Our LOP is trying to counter that by saying that it's not the decisive actions, that they have failed when the Chinese made incursions into our territory. And it is being reported from none other than the former army chief that such incursions have happened and the government did not take a decisive actions. That's a counterpoint. The LOP was trying to communicate that. Besides the fact that the speech of the president mentions about ensuring the security of the people, how can we be secure if the Chinese can enter like that and you have a leadership who couldn't take a decisive call on that? So LOP was right in his, as a leader of the opposition, he is doing according to the rule. He is quoting from, newspaper article which is concerning the business of the House, which is the presidential speech, which talked about government being able to take firm decisions in the face of threat to our national security, or the fact that the speech talks about ensuring security of the people. And our LOP is just trying to say that it is not. It's a serious lapse has happened, and that is precisely because it's going to tell the truth. That's why the ruling party disrupted and heckled him. It's very unfortunate. This is unprecedented in a way. Indian democracy and parliamentary system is under attack in some sense, and I think the people of this country must know that our LOP was quoting from the newspaper or magazines, and it is within the rules of the House. Insofar as he was trying to talk about the presidential speech, which talk about international relations, security of the states, and the government's so-called decisive action and all of that. He was trying to expose that, but the ruling party didn't want the people of the country to know that. That's why they disrupted him. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry to say that in the parliamentary democracy, you don't allow the leader of the opposition to speak, and you twist and turn, try to mislead the people of the country by blaming our LOP, which is and is unacceptable, and the people must be aware of the kind of twisted nature in which our democracy and parliament has been subverted by the ruling party. I feel very sad. I was talking to some of the senior members today, and they said in 75 years of the parliamentary democracy, such kind of things have never happened. Such kind of blatant arrogance with which they try to, silence the voice of the opposition. It's really, really unfortunate that such thing happened, and the minister's remark on our LOP is trying to mislead the people. The fact is, as I've said, LOP was doing what he was expected to do in response to President's speech. You see that Prime Minister Modi had quoted books on the floor of the House. Nobody said anything. So you are applying different rules, by the way. These are obvious facts, but who cares? It's like a post-truth, you know. There was a philosopher, Harry Frankfurt from Princeton University, who once distinguished between lying and bullshitting. I think it's almost like amounts to bullshitting. You don't care about truth. You're so scared of the truth to come out and people will know it at one level, and the manner in which you try to mislead the people and blame the LOP. It's very unfortunate. It's one of the darkest days that I sense in parliamentary democracy that we have witnessed in the last 2 days.